Joe from Medford, next up. Joe said, why are you a fan of no divisions? As an Ohio State alum, you could have a recruiting scenario where Ohio State and Michigan play in back-to-back weeks, which seems ridiculous. Also, can't you see the Big Ten and the SEC getting to 24, so you'll need divisions anyway? Oh, Joe, okay. A lot going on here. Yes, it does seem ridiculous to have the concept of Ohio State and Michigan playing in back-to-back weeks. Yes, I agree with you there. And I don't know what the answer is, because I don't think they're going to move that game off of the last weekend of the regular season. That's tradition, right? But if you're going to do away with divisions, and we're just taking the top two teams, yes, you do run the risk, like we've seen in the NFL sometimes, of you playing a team in the last week of the season, and then voila, they're your first-round playoff opponent, or in this case, they're your conference championship opponent. And you know, there is this crazy, crazy, crazy world out there where you play the same team 3 times in a year in the expanded playoff era and the no division expanded playoff era. You're not wrong here. Now, that doesn't counter the fact that I still think divisionless formatting strictly to determine a conference champ in principle is the better format. What is a division? Think about what a division is. It's just a little imaginary line someone drew on a map. For that matter, that's all conferences are. But especially, that's all a division is. So your imaginary line just happens to suck in the Big Ten because it has 3, not just of the best teams for now, but perennially, 3 of the best teams in that conference every year are on one side. You got Michigan, you got Ohio State, you got Penn State, and meanwhile, you got a bunch of Purdue's and Illinois and Minnesota's over on the other side. Like, that doesn't make sense. And what Joe's saying is, okay, well, that sounds all great, but you knock down that wall, then all of a sudden Ohio State and Michigan play the last week of the year, and then one of them wins, but they're still the 2 best teams, and then they go play again. How would that next weekend's game feel? It'd feel weird. You're not wrong, Joe. You're not wrong at all. And then Joe said, hey, could you see both of these big conferences just getting to 24 teams? And if they get there, wouldn't you need divisions again? I've got a thought on that, and I have not marinated on it long enough to really present it, but I don't think that's so far off. If they go to 20, just even 20 teams apiece, I don't think Joe's so far off. And now I think there are 2 possibilities. I think they may go to 10 conference games apiece. I think they may do that. But I don't think it's the craziest concept in the world. This is all I'm saying. I don't think it's the craziest concept in the world to look at the Big Ten continuing to expand and the SEC continuing to expand and thinking that, yeah, they got rid of divisions for a second or two, but once they get inflated to 20 or 24 teams, might they go right back to it? And might they just kind of recreate their own little Power 5? Do you hear what I just said there? What if the Big Ten went to, let's say, 24 teams and they split 12 and 12? What if the SEC went to 20 teams and they split 10 and 10? Yeah, like 4 power divisions there. And really, they look like conferences. And let me break it down even further for you. If the Big Ten were to have 24 teams and the SEC had 20 teams, and then each of them split down the middle, and there were 12 on each side and 10 on each side, does that not roughly sound to you like the AFC and the NFC? And what if before they went to any national championship, what if they had their own little mini playoff just right in their conference? You know, what if the 2 best from one side of the Big Ten played the 2 best from the other side in semifinal games, and then they maybe met in a conference championship game? Ditto in the SEC. And then the SEC is spitting out its conference champ to play against the Big Ten's conference champ. This mirrors the NFL playoff system, is what I'm saying. I am not advocating for this. Anyone who's listened to this show for more than 10 seconds knows this is not my dream scenario. It's a lot more a nightmare. But if that's where you're going, that may be what you end up with. That's why I'm so fascinated when we get out of this current media deal, this current playoff contract, which only runs for 2 more years, and they have to renegotiate this thing again. I'm curious, how big is the Big Ten at that point? How big is the SEC at that point? And how willing are they to just carry over the current model that we'll have next year where it's 6 conference champs, auto bid, and then it's 6 at-larges. Are they just okay with that? I don't know. We'll see.